Number one, I'm homeless. Number two, I have goals to meet, like become a national champ, and I don't have resources. I don't have access to a weight room. I'm using a playground to do pull ups every day, push ups. I'm running. Good morning, guys. So the time is about 8:07. Um, this morning I woke up, I logged into my Facebook, I saw a picture. I saw a picture that struck an emotion in my heart. It sent me back to a place of struggle and adversity that I had completely forgotten about. I didn't even know that I overcame. The picture that I saw, it was a picture of a speed ladder made out of construction tape or duct tape. So here's the story behind it. The year's 2016. I'm in college at this point, but I know that I don't want to go home. Summer is nearing, and I do not want to go home because I know if when I go home, number one, I'm homeless. Every time I go home, I have nowhere to stay. I have to ask somebody else, hey, can I stay with you over this break? Can I stay with you for a couple weeks here? Can I stay with you for a couple weeks there? Every time I come home from summer, I have nowhere to stay. I'm at a different relative's house. I'm at a different brother and sister's house. I'm at a different friend's house. So I don't want to come home for summer. I don't want to come home for spring break. Um, Number one, I'm homeless. Number two, I have goals to meet, like become a national champ, and I don't have resources. I don't have access to a weight room. I'm using a playground to do pull-ups every day, push-ups. I'm running on the highway. I don't have access to resources. I have a wrestling room, okay, but is that enough? No. So pretty much summer's nearing. I call my friend Nick Farley, who lives in Beckley, West Virginia, and I say, hey Nick, can I have a ride to the airport? Nick says, sure. So Nick is taking me and my friend Joe to the airport. We end up missing our flight. So now I'm like, dang, how am I going to get home? So I spent 2 weeks in Beckley, West Virginia with Nick Farley. Finally end up going home. I finally end up going home, and I'm home for maybe less than a week. Nick Farley calls me while I'm back in Florida and says, now mind you, I'm home. I'm living in my sister's apartment for less than a week, and I'm already starting to get depressed. Nick Farley calls me and says, hey Jabari, do you want to come up and live with me this summer? And I'm like, what? I've never had friends just offer me to live with them in the summer in a different state. I'm like, yes. I bought the first plane ticket with money that I saved from a GoFundMe account. A GoFundMe account. I raised money to go to the Vegas World team. I think it was the juniors. I raised a few bucks. Ended up getting hurt. Refunded people back their money. Some people blessed me and said, you know what, keep it. Keep what I donated to you. So I go back and I'm living with Nick Farley in the summer. And, they didn't have a lot of money as well, but it was better than my situation at home. So luckily, me being able to stay with Nick Farley, I had access to Noah Adams. Noah Adams is the number one ranked 197 in college right now to this day. Noah Adams was the first kid that I ever got to train. This is back in 2016. At the time, I'm a college student. Noah Adams is a senior in high school. Farley takes me to his wrestling room. I work out with this kid, and this kid's pretty good. This kid's dad comes to me and says, hey, can you train my son? I'll pay you. And I said, no, I will not take payment to train your son because everything I've been shown in wrestling and blessed with through wrestling has never had a price on it. I will train your son for free because I need a workout partner as well. Long story short, Noah Adams ends up becoming a Pan American national champion in freestyle and Greco. I'm glad I got to work with him. He ended up taking second at the UWW trials against Gable Stevenson and against a guy I think last name Paris in Greco. He took third. So I was blessed with being able to work with Noah Adams. I was blessed with having a wrestling room, open access. I was blessed with having a weight room. I was working out every day. I was wrestling every day. This picture, I didn't have money for a resource, but I knew I needed a speed ladder to do my footwork drills, to create explosion, to create fast twitch muscle fibers. I wanted a faster shot, faster stance of motion. What ended up happening was I said, Farley, can we go to the store and get some duct tape? Because I'm brainstorming. How can I gather the materials to create? How can I gather the materials to create what I need? Farley says yes. We go to the store. We go back to his house. We're literally in his front driveway, pulling out long strips of duct tape. I doubled them up and laid out in a ladder. I took it to his yard, and we were putting cinder blocks. I think cinder blocks and rocks on the edge of the on the edge of the ladder. That way, it just didn't blow off in the wind. Because we did have that problem. I'm trying to do footwork drills, and it blew off in the wind. If you do not believe me, anybody can call up Nick Farley, Funky Farley, on Instagram, and he will tell you this story out of his mouth. Long story short, if you listen, I come from nothing. I had no resources. I've been homeless ever since my sophomore year of high school. Resources have never limited me. If I didn't have it, I was never afraid to ask somebody who I trusted wholeheartedly for help. If they didn't have it, I use my brain and I come up with a solution. They say necessity breeds invention. You should never let your circumstances stop you from meeting a goal. That summer, listen, I kid you not, I had one of the best collegiate seasons, Division II, in my life after that summer. Today, I'm a national champion. Today, I am a collegiate national champion. I've beaten plenty D1 wrestlers. I've beaten plenty world team holders. Listen, man, don't let lack of materials, resources stop you from being who you want to be. It's all about your mindset. If you ever let lack of money, lack of materials, lack of resources dictate your future in life, you will never be anything. You have to rise above the challenge. You have to say, you know what? I know I do not have resources or money. I'm not going to sit here and mope around. Even though I'm homeless, even though I have no money, even though I don't have anybody to reach out to, guess what? I still have willpower, I still have a brain, and I still have goals because even though this is my current situation, this is not the situation that I want to be in for the rest of my life. This is not the situation that I want to be in for the rest of my life. So here's my advice to you. Take everything I'm giving you, take this story, and what I want you to do is apply it to all walks of life. This is, long story short, this year I'm graduating with my college degree, my bachelor's degree. I'm the only person in my family that has ever gone to college. And no, that has ever succeeded in gaining a degree. I will be getting my second degree in the spring. In the spring, I will be getting my second degree. I met my athletic goals. I became a national champion, one of them. By me not submitting to failure in circumstances, I'm going to meet my financial goals as well. I could have easily said, you know what, I come from nothing, let me submit to a life of crime. But that's weak. That's weak-minded, that's weak-hearted. Rise above your environment, man. This is the last thing I want to leave you guys with. I may not be the best Christian in some people's eyes, but what I can say is that during this time, throughout my whole life, I have had a foundation of morals and a foundation that is revolved around Christ-centered. I always give thanks to God. I always pray when I'm in situations. Now, I might be stubborn and say, you know what, I can get through this on my own without asking the Lord for help. But when things get too tough for me, I always turn back to God. I'm not sure what your personal beliefs are, but hey man, when you get to the lowest of the low points in life, why not send out a prayer? Why not say, "Hey Lord, hey highest power, hey creator, universe, I don't know what's going on right now, but I need your help." So, listen man, listen, keep your faith strong, keep your willpower strong, keep your goals in life ahead of you. Constantly remind yourself of your goals. That's the last thing I want to leave you guys with, man. Faith, goals, willpower. Let's succeed.